All right, let's be real for a second. Most of us throw around words like compounding and investing like they're the same thing. I used to do it too. I'd hear someone say, let your money compound, or just start investing. And I'd nod like I totally understood. But deep down, I didn't have a clue what the actual difference was. And no one ever really explained it in a way that made sense. Not in school, not at work, not even on YouTube, without all the complicated charts and jargon. So here's the deal. Compounding and investing are related, yeah, but they're not interchangeable. One is a powerful force that builds over time, almost like magic, and the other is the vehicle that makes it happen. But if you don't understand how they actually work together, you might end up doing all the right things for years and still not get the results you expected. In this video, I want to clear that up for you. No fluff, no fancy talk, just the honest truth about how compounding really works, what investing is actually supposed to do, and how to use both in a way that makes your money grow steadily, even if you're not rich or an expert. Let's make this simple. Once you get it, I promise it'll change the way you think about every dollar you have. Number 1, compounding is a process. Investing is an action. Let's start by understanding what these two really are at their core. Investing is something you do. You decide to buy a stock, put money into a mutual fund, or start a retirement account. It's a single decision or a series of decisions where you're actively putting your money to work. Compounding, on the other hand, isn't a one-time thing. It's a process. It's what happens after you invest and leave your money untouched. Think of investing like planting a tree and compounding like watering that tree over time, letting it grow stronger and taller every year. A lot of people confuse these two. They think as long as they're investing, they're compounding. But that's not always true. You could invest money and then keep pulling it out every time you feel nervous or want to buy something. That breaks the compounding process. Compounding rewards patience, not just action. It's not about what you do today, but about how long you allow your money to grow without interrupting it. And the real magic? It happens slowly at first, then all at once. Number 2. Investing gives returns. Compounding multiplies them. Let's say you invest $1,000 and get a 10% return in a year. That's $100. Feels good, right? But now imagine if you don't touch that money and next year you get another 10%, not just on your $1,000, but also on that $100 you earned earlier. That's where compounding kicks in. It's returns on returns. And it's this loop, year after year, that starts turning small investments into something massive. Here's the thing though. Most people underestimate compounding because its results look tiny in the beginning. You might see just a few dollars more every year and it doesn't feel like much. So they get impatient and give up. But the people who really build wealth are the ones who stay in the game. They understand that compounding is like a snowball rolling down a hill. It picks up speed and size the longer it rolls. That's why starting early and being consistent is more powerful than trying to time the perfect investment. One person who invests early and leaves it alone for decades will often end up with more money than someone who starts late and invests twice as much. Compounding rewards time, not timing. Number 3, investing is about choosing assets. Compounding is about consistency. When you invest, you're making choices: stocks, real estate, mutual funds, maybe even crypto. You research, analyze, or sometimes just follow a hunch or someone's advice. And honestly, picking good assets does matter. But what happens after you invest is just as important. That's where compounding steps in. It doesn't care what you picked. It only works its magic if you stay consistent and patient. Think of it like this. Investing is choosing your workout plan, while compounding is actually showing up to the gym every week without fail, even when it's boring or inconvenient. One is strategy, the other is discipline. You can pick the best mutual fund on earth, but if you keep switching, withdrawing, or panicking every time the market dips, you're interrupting compounding. It's like baking a cake and opening the oven every 5 minutes. It just won't rise properly. Consistency builds momentum. Even small monthly contributions add up when you give them time. You don't need perfect timing or perfect picks. You need a system, a rhythm, and the will to let it play out. It's not exciting at first, But eventually you look back and realize your quiet, boring discipline made you more money than any hot stock tip ever could. Number 4, investing can make you rich. Compounding can make you wealthy. Now this is a subtle but powerful difference. Investing can make you big returns, even overnight. Think of people who doubled their money during a bull run or bought Bitcoin early. That kind of success is flashy and exciting, but it's also risky and rare. Most people don't get rich quick. And even those who do, many lose it just as fast. Because getting rich is one thing, staying rich is another. That's where compounding comes in. Compounding builds wealth slowly, steadily, and sustainably. It doesn't rely on luck. It rewards time, discipline, and patience. Wealth built through compounding tends to last because it's rooted in habits, not hype. You start small, reinvest your returns, avoid big mistakes, and let time do the heavy lifting. Here's a real-life contrast. A lottery winner might get rich overnight, but many end up broke within a few years. Meanwhile, someone like Warren Buffett didn't make 99% of his wealth until after age 50, not because he picked better stocks, but because he let compounding work for over 5 decades. That's the difference. Investing might light the fire. Compounding keeps it burning year after year until it becomes a bonfire of wealth.
Number 5, investing is about making your money work. Compounding is about letting your money grow. This might sound similar at first, but it's not. When you invest, the goal is to put your money to work. You're trying to generate returns, dividends, capital gains, appreciation. It feels active, like you're doing something smart. And often, you are. But compounding, that's the art of doing nothing and still winning big. Here's what I mean. Let's say you invest in a stock, and it gives you 10% returns this year. That's great. But if you reinvest that return and don't touch it, and then it gives you another 10% next year, now you're earning returns not just on your original money, but also on the return from last year. That's the core of compounding. It's your money earning money, and then that money earning more money over and over. The tricky part is, it's not exciting. Compounding is slow at first. You might even question if it's working. But over 10, 20, or 30 years, it's like a snowball rolling downhill, picking up more snow, getting bigger and faster. Most people interrupt this process. They pull money out, they get impatient, they chase something shinier, and they lose the real power of compounding. Think of it like planting a tree. Investing is planting the seed, but compounding is watering it, protecting it, and waiting for it to grow. You can't dig it up every year to check if it's growing faster. That's what kills the magic. Let your money sit, reinvest the earnings, and give it time. That's how you build wealth that feels almost unfair in the long run.
Number 6, investing is a decision. Compounding is a mindset. This is where the emotional and psychological side kicks in. Investing is something you do, a conscious decision. You study the market, open a brokerage account, pick some assets, and hit buy. It's an event. But compounding, that's a philosophy. It's about how you think long-term, how you behave with your money, and how much discipline you're willing to hold over decades. Anyone can invest, but not everyone can commit to the compounding mindset. Why? Because it asks you to be boring, to be patient, to ignore noise, to resist the urge to do something flashy or fast. It asks you to delay gratification, and most people struggle with that. Let's say the market crashes. Someone with the investing mindset might panic, sell their assets, and try to time a better entry later. Someone with the compounding mindset says, nope, I'm staying in. I know volatility is part of the process. And over time, that difference in behavior leads to a massive gap in wealth. The compounding mindset is about seeing money not just as numbers, but as a tool that grows with time and care. It's about trust. It's about thinking in decades, not months. It's a quiet superpower. And once you embrace it, you stop chasing every new opportunity and start building a financial life that works even while you sleep.
Number 7, investing can be risky. Compounding reduces risk over time. Let's talk about risk, the thing that scares most people away from investing in the first place. When you first invest, especially without experience, it can feel like gambling. Prices go up, they go down, You hear news of crashes or bubbles, and it's easy to feel like you're putting your hard-earned money at risk. Now, here's where compounding becomes your safety net. Compounding rewards consistency and time. The longer you leave your investments alone, the more the ups and downs smooth out. Imagine someone who invested in the stock market for just 1 year. They could gain or lose 20% easily. But someone who stayed invested for 20 or 30 years, historically, they've almost always made money, often a lot of it. Here's a simple way to think about it. Investing is like sailing. You can hit rough waters anytime. But compounding is like setting a course across the ocean and letting the wind take you. The storms will come, yes, but if you stay the course and don't panic, you almost always reach your destination. Risk doesn't vanish with compounding, but it becomes manageable. Because instead of making emotional, short-term decisions, you're building a process that plays out in your favor as long as you keep going. Time and patience become your biggest allies.
Number 8. Investing is what you do. Compounding is what wealth does for you. This is the perfect way to wrap it up. Think of it like this. Investing is your job. You're the one choosing where your money goes. You take responsibility for making smart decisions. It's active, it's intentional. But once that money is placed, compounding takes over. That's not your job anymore. That's the money's job. It's like you planted a money tree. You water it by reinvesting returns. You don't chop it down when it grows slowly. And over time, the tree starts giving you fruit. Eventually, it grows so big that you can live off the fruit and never touch the tree. That's wealth. That's freedom. That's what compounding is really about. And here's the magical part. Once compounding kicks in, it doesn't just help you grow your wealth, it accelerates it. The more you have, the faster it grows. And if you give it enough time, you reach a point where your money earns more in a year than you do from working. That's the dream. Not being rich overnight, but being free because your money works harder than you ever could. So yes, investing is essential. You have to do it. But if you really want to build lasting wealth, compounding is where the real magic lives. It's quiet, slow, and incredibly powerful. Hey, since you stuck around to the end, here's a little bonus just for you. Investing makes money. Compounding builds legacy. This one hits a little deeper. When we talk about investing, most of the time it's about personal goals, paying off the house, retiring early, traveling more. And that's great. You should enjoy the rewards of your hard work and smart decisions. But compounding, when done right over a long time, it can go beyond just you. It can build something that outlives you. Think about this. If you start early, stay consistent, and resist the urge to mess with your investments, you could end up with a portfolio so strong that it supports not just your lifestyle, but maybe your kids' education or even your grandkids' future. That's the kind of financial legacy compounding can help create. Not because you were lucky or rich, but because you were patient and intentional. You don't need millions to start that. You just need the mindset to see money as a long game. It's the quiet choices. Skipping that impulse buy, letting dividends reinvest, automating your savings. That builds not just wealth, but impact. That's the power of compounding when you think bigger than yourself. So yes, investing gets the ball rolling. But compounding, that's what turns money into meaning. And if that clicked with you, you're already ahead of most people. Keep going. You're building something bigger than just a bank balance. You're shaping your future story. So, if you made it this far, here's what I want you to take away. Investing is how you start building wealth. It's the engine. But compounding, that's the fuel that keeps it running long after you stop touching the wheel. The difference between the two might feel subtle at first, but over time, it becomes everything. Investing is active, compounding is patient. One is active, the other is quiet, almost invisible. But when you give both of them enough time to work together, the results are honestly unbelievable. It's not about chasing the next big thing or timing the market. It's about starting, staying consistent, and letting time do its thing. That's how you build real wealth. Not flashy, not overnight, just real, steady, unstoppable growth. If this helped clear things up even a little, you might want to go back and rewatch the parts that clicked for you. And if you know someone who's struggling with understanding how money actually grows, send them this video. It could change how they think forever. Thanks for sticking around. Now go let your money do what it was born to do. Grow quietly while you live your life. All right, before you head out, If this video gave you even one good idea or a fresh perspective, do me a small favor. Hit that like button. It helps more than you know. And if you're into videos that make money feel a little less overwhelming and a lot more human, go ahead and subscribe. I've got more coming your way that you won't want to miss. And hey, if you got that one friend who's always talking about money but keeps making the same mistakes, send this to them. Not to call them out, just to help them out. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, stay consistent, and let your money work for you.